Welcome back, peeps. Got your coffee? Got your tools? Well, let's get to work then. Now, if you don't have tools, the good thing about this step is you really don't need any. A pair of scissors, a screwdriver, some tape, and some spray adhesive. After that, you're able to do this project. Because in this project, we're completing our ceiling from this point right here all the way up to the very front right here. And we're gonna cover it with the exact same fabric that we put on our side door and our back doors, and do it in the exact same fashion that we did our headliner shelf right here in one of our first ever videos on the Van Build series. Which means I should be able to make this video go really fast because there's not a lot of explaining to do because you've seen most of the steps already. And yes, I'm gonna be doing this video in my sweatpants and my Taco Tuesday socks because it's 11 a.m. on Sunday and I was up till 5:30 a.m. in the morning working on last week's video, and then I was up at 10 a.m. to premiere and watch it with you guys. Plus, there's a lot of personal conversations going on. It means I'm not sleeping very good, so we might as well just get to work. And look at this weather. It is absolutely phenomenal out here. It feels like spring. So there's no way we're gonna waste this day. Let's get to the garage and we'll show you the materials we're working with. I forgot. Our garage is still a disaster. Winston, you never cleaned up at all. Well, I guess this is as good of time as any to roll our intro. Okay, intro's done. Get up. Oh, haha. You guys are finally back, are you? It's about time. I've been waiting for you. Actually caught a couple minutes of Z's though, so it's all right. Hi, did you get some sleep too? Yeah? So, today's project, we're gonna be completing the front half of the ceiling using this tweed fabric right here, as well as this soft underliner mat, which is nice and thin, and we're gonna glue that using our LePage heavy duty, waterproof and heat resistant spray adhesive. Exact same way we did our headliner shelf way back when we first started doing this van build. Here, let's make a test piece and we'll show you how the layers all go together. So we're gonna spray some of this adhesive onto the wood, then we're gonna spray some of this adhesive onto the underlay material that we have. Let them sit for a couple minutes and then adhere them together. Once those are set, we're now gonna spray more glue on top of that underlay material, spray some glue on the back side of our tweed upholstery, let them sit for a couple minutes, and then stick them back together, and bada bing, bada boom, we will now have a fabric covered ceiling, which I have done a lot of testing on. Now, first off, this headliner shelf that we did, it's been over a year, actually like 16 months. It's been through -40 temperatures, it's been through +40 temperatures, and it is held up perfect. It is not sagged, it's not pulling, and I'm very happy with the end result on that. Now, really the only difference between these two projects is A, I have to do this one above my head the whole time, and B, is the actual material that's the final covering for it. Because now we're gonna use this tweed type material, and in the last project, we used like this spandex material. But really, no difference in the way they go together, so we're gonna keep this nice and short, as I mentioned earlier. Now, because of this material difference, the tweed is not stretchy like that spandex was. So I wanna do my own tests on this as well. So I took our little board that we made, I put it into the freezer, I left it there for a good 24 hours, pulled it back out, solid, not even trying to go anywhere. Then I took it and I put it in the oven like we did with our glue test on our wood stuff, and well, oh shit. Okay, maybe that didn't work. But as you see, it did stay stuck. It's just this stuff melted because it's kind of got some plastic in it. And obviously, ouch. Obviously that was a little too hot for it. Also, you can see the wood side is at like 70 degrees. And the cloth side is at like 60 degrees. And that just confirms we just added another layer of insulation to Romer. And then finally, because it is a fabric ceiling, some people might say, oh, it's gonna get dirty, might hold smells, so on and so forth. It is really thin. That underlay is just enough so that it has some push to it where it doesn't feel like it's just tweed on wood. It does feel like it's been upholstered, I guess we'll use for a word, because it actually has been upholstered. What do you know? What? But because of that, I also want to show you that we have this carpet cleaner And this is so that on the fabric parts of the ceiling and other touchable parts you'll see as we go along this van build, we can take this, steam clean our ceiling and all the other parts, and suck it dry. And with this testing, it's shown that it holds up fine to that as well. So there's no fear of dirtiness or smelling coming from our upholstered pieces. Yes, I did recover our new piece after I melted the last tweed in the oven. Do not put this stuff in the oven. It'll melt. And there you go. With all that knowledge in your head, it's time to get it actually on the ceiling. So I'm gonna do all those same steps. And to get a template of it, I'm gonna use some of this brown builder's paper. And I'm just gonna tape it all together and fit it into the spots in the ceiling until we have it all laid out looking like this in the pattern we need. Just cutting out our pieces, taping them where we needed them. Through all the nice contours. And now I should be able to pull it all down as one solid piece, and we'll have a perfect template for our actual material. Sorry about that. Our camera went dead while we were pulling it all down. But as you see, it worked out perfect. We were able to get it off the ceiling. So now, we're just gonna use our felt pen and our little Fisker scissors, cut it all out, and then adhere it to the roof, just like we showed you on the sample piece. So now, if I take you to the van, check this out. And here we are exactly a week later. Actually minus 1 hour because we had to spring forward here this morning. And I'm no further ahead. I've been having a really hard time with this one, and I wasn't even going to record this because it's just gluing them together as I already shown you. But with that template I showed you, getting this edge all lined up so that with that template it goes straight back and follows the hallway the way we intended it to with our template is next to impossible to get it perfectly straight. And you can't go bending that stuff halfway and trying to pull it because it creates creases, which we don't want on our ceiling. So instead of using that template, I'm going to cut out a bigger square, and now I'm going to try to affix it with it being wider so that if it does go sideways a bit, we still got more than enough room to be able to cut it and trim it into place. And I'm telling you, with this stuff, once it sticks, it's stuck. There's no lifting it back off to try and replace it. It just doesn't happen. Once you touch the two together and they're tacky, it's there. And when you go to pull it back off, it makes an absolute mess, in which then you gotta wait like 24 hours before it becomes less tacky so you can sand it back down. Because if you don't sand it down, you're gonna end up with a ripply roof because of that fuzz you left behind when you pulled off the one that didn't work. So no video this Sunday, peeps, because I'm still working on it. So I'm going to start at the front edge, and that's kind of where we're going to stick the first piece to get it all lined up, and then we'll spread out to the edges and go all the way back this time. And I'll just trim it as I get to these edges. I'll just trim it as we go, and hopefully it doesn't all stick to this plastic and create a mess. And then we have this part laid out. So we did still mark from our template, so we know basically where it's going to fit. I'll just spray a little bit. We got it, we got it. We did it, it's perfect. So now we'll trim it, and I'll do the exact same thing to our gray carpet, and then I'll come back and you'll see this. Wow, wow, we did this. Check it out, it looks freaking sweet. Look at that, it's absolutely perfect. We did it. So now, just to trim these edges, we're gonna use our sharp knife. If I can open that one-handed, yeah. And then we're gonna run it along that crease. And I can't do that without a cameraman. That makes some pretty sweet footage if I could cut that and record it at the same time, but I know I'll mess up, so we're not gonna do that. So it's gonna go from looking like this to looking like this. Love it. Went on perfect. Absolutely zero wrinkles Everything fit in nice to where our seams are. And remember, the reason why we did this first is because we're still gonna have like 6 mil wall paneling going over top of that. So you won't be able to see those edges at all. They're just being a nice, clean, finished ceiling, meeting up with our walls. Those are coming up next, peeps. Wait till you see those. But seeing we're a day late on this video already anyways, what I've decided is we're gonna throw in a couple extra pieces as a bonus in this one. So first thing is we're gonna put this beauty ring into our Maxx Air Fan that came with it. Look at my collection of coffee cups all of a sudden. Oh well, keep moving forward. The beauty ring I speak of is this piece right here that comes with the Maxx Air Fan. So it's extra deep, that way you can cut it depending on the depth of your ceiling. So we're just gonna stick it in the hole. Measure the depth, that it's too long, say about 1.25 inches. So then we measure out 1.25 inches all the way around the fan. Trace it out and cut it. And clean up your edges just a little bit so you don't have anything sharp on there. And then you just slide it right back up into the hole. Now that cut doesn't have to be perfect because it does slide up into these grooves. But there it is. Fits right up in there, my friends. Perfect. Now you could put 4 bolts in it, and I will in time, but I still might want to trim this and stuff, so I might have to pull it down. So I'm not going to make the holes just yet, but it does come with the matching screws that are white. And that's our finished Maxx Air Fan. We'll go and turn it on here right after we do the next one. Before I hook up any power, let's get these installed. So our lights, they all work off of one switch, but can be independently operated by themselves. And the lights we chose are these Rise Star 3.5-inch LED lights. So they're touch. You just touch the face of them and it'll turn on and off. That way I can have them all through one main power switch and just run each independent light depending on where I am in the van. So I don't have to worry about switches all over the place. So now it's just hook up positive, positive, negative to negative, and bolt them in place. Pretty straightforward stuff. By the way, have you hit that like button yet? I sure hope you've hit that like button. And if you're feeling really generous today, maybe even hit that subscribe button. Now I plug it in again. And my peeps, we got our first working light inside roller. Yeah! Let me do the rest so I can show you it finished. And now we just come walking into the van and we're like, bang, bang, boom! We got light everywhere! Isn't that freaking sweet? I'm so stoked. And real quick, for the fan that I showed you guys, if we hit power, it'll open up. And once it's open, we can just adjust the speed. And if you put it all the way down, it's still blowing air. Listen how quiet that is. And then you can crank it up, of course. And it's got tons of air. But that's enough of that. I didn't want to go in big detail about the fan. The big one for this was our ceiling's up, our lights are in, our fan is installed, and everything works perfect. So, another video in the banks, another project in the books, my friends. Now, if you've been following us along, don't leave yet. I've changed the end of our video. I want you guys to comment below, let me know what you think. I found this in one of our older videos, and I want to go back to the style because I actually kind of like it. And if you're new here, you probably have no clue what I'm talking about. So maybe hit that subscribe so you can get caught up, follow along. And if you have subscribed, of course, thank you, thank you, thank you. Maybe consider hitting that bell. And we will see you on the next video.